What is going on, SHIPIT Nation YouTube station? It's Masters Week. But first, we got two great baseball slates ahead of us today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, I should say. I haven't looked at Wednesday's slate, but I do know, Ham, we got a good one on tap here tonight. We got 7 games. Got some bad weather. Bad hitting conditions kind of been the nature of the slate early on in the year, right? Most of these games, especially in kind of the Midwest here, even on the East Coast, right? April baseball. It's not quite warmed up out there. I mean, I walked outside today and there was snow on the ground this morning, and my home golf course is supposed to open up here on Thursday. So we'll see how that works out. Definitely going to be a talking point once we get to that Chicago Cubs game and when we do talk pitching here. But we had an incredible week over here at the Nation. $500,000 across $500,000 plus, I should say. $500,000+ won across the community just over the weekend in PGA. Shout out to our guy Shalhoub out there, my boy, and our guy Kenny, too. Both had massive weeks. Plenty of other members absolutely crushed. We had a couple Fantasy Golf World Championship seats out there. MLB seats MLB streets continue to be a printer over here. I had another really good Friday in general, really good weekend of baseball in general, looking to keep it rolling here and see if we can't find some winners up at the top. But, man, I'll bring you in. Happy Monday. How's your weekend? How's Ham doing? What's up, brother?
Ham's doing great. Yeah, we're crushing it over here at the Nation. Members just absolutely killing it. My guy's out on the driving range getting ready for the Masters. Hebrew Cheetah. He won him a cool 60-some-odd stacks on Saturday. No big deal. It's a little early slate. Just beat the rest of the field by 15. Hey, first wasn't good enough, so he said, you know what? I'm going to get second to go with that. Shout out to my boy Rio. Shout out to Shalhoub. We got him $100K. Man, rocking and rolling. I can't wait to talk about this slate and talk about some more of your terrible pitching takes, and we're just going to get right into it.
Yeah, if I do recall, I said Luzardo was one of the best pitchers on the slate on Friday, and Ham said he's the worst player in the slate, and he shoved 33.6-something points right up the rear end of Ham over there, so that was always fun. Ham was
home run call. I was 1 for 2 in home run calls, though. I'll stand on that.
Hey, shine on the light when you can, right? Because I think you were talking about Tyler Mahle or some shit like that. I mean, that didn't work out very well there, but hey, yeah, how could I forget our guy Rio just continues to jump in any streets he touches. I mean, this dude could go in there and fire in League of Legends and probably ship that stuff out there. 60K in the MLB streets there. Love to see that there after I didn't get the job done on Friday, which was pretty hurtful there. But shout out to everyone in the chat here. Go Collect, Stoner, our guy Rio's in chat, Michael, Gangrene, Ross, everybody, Jason Turner. If you guys are in here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. Huge week over here coming up at the Nation. Like I said, Masters as displayed by the gear here. Had to rock the gear. Masters week. Amazing week. And it's amazing week for content space in general. And look no further than our best deal to date, DGen 75. Why is this important? Not only do you get access for the entire month for all of our sports that have continued to crush, but it's $25 for a month, including an optimizer. Places across the industry are charging $30 just for PGA content alone, not including optimizer or anything else. You get all the added additional bonus content for the next month. Masters content, MLB content, MMA content, NASCAR. I know Kenny's smashing in that NASCAR streak. Shout out to our team over here in the NASCAR. We got you covered for everything. DGen 75. If you're not a member yet, now's the time. This code is only for 3 days. Once the tournament does tee off Thursday morning, that code will no longer work and no longer get you access over here. So DGen 75, best rate in the industry for the one-stop shop. Everything you need to have success with DFS right here at shipitnation.com. Ham, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the screen share here, and we're going to take a look at SaberSim, our partner over here at SHIPIT Nation, and we're going to talk pitching first, and then we'll share the stone, another premium tool over here. Combination of the two have been an absolute printer for me, printer for many people out there in the community as well. Throw it over to you first, man, in terms of pitching, just broad slate overviews here. What's kind of standing out to you when you look at this slate? 7 games, it's kind of a sweet spot for me. I love 7-8 game slates. When you start getting into the 13, 14 game slates, it gets a little wonky sometimes, but perfect, kind of right in that wheelhouse here, 7 games. What are you looking at as a broad slate overview here in terms of pitching for you tonight?
Yeah, real quick, we got my boy Hoop. We got a Hoopster sighting in the chat I saw earlier. Hoop's in here. I don't know if you mentioned him. But yeah, so what I've noticed so far on the slates this season is we've had 1, 2, maybe 3 studs, outside of opening day, right? 1, 2, or 3 studs, and the rest haven't been very good. But I think you can make a case for a lot of these pitchers tonight. I think it's going to be a very spread out pitching slate. I know you had said that Senga is going to be uber chalk going up against this Marlins team who we're going to pick on all season, coming back from injury, I believe, through 77 pitches in his first game. So interested to see what you think of him. But for me, it's going to be more pitchers in the pool tonight than maybe normal. And then on the bats, like you said, I think you said it's like 30 some odd degrees in the Windy City. Tough to play bats when the ball's not going to get to the wall. So I think it's more of a nail your pitchers. Hopefully your stacks go off kind of night. And we're going to pick on good weather hitting environments as well.
Yeah, I mean, typically I'm more condensed on pitcher and more spread out on bats, at least to start the season, and it's worked out pretty good. Tonight's going to change, so I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's just kind of what the slate gives me. From a pitching standpoint, there's 7 to 8 pitchers on the slate that I think are viable. Mix and match them any way you want to go. And then in terms of offense, when you have that many good arms and weather early April here, a lot of these games outside of a few of them, in not great hitting conditions, bats are going to be more condensed for me. So I'm trying to spread more in terms of pitcher here and spread out more in terms of batters is kind of how I'm approaching an MME. I'm running a 20 max tonight, and then my 2 main teams that I play every night, every slate in kind of the single entries, 3 max stuff, qualifiers, satellites, things like that. That takes us into pitching here. You hit on it, right? If I filter by ownership here, Senga, this ownership is at average. So if I just go filter by flagship MME here, actually let's do single entry because most of the people in the chat here, majority of the viewers that are listening to this and in the YouTube chat are probably playing 1 to 3 teams, right? And playing in kind of medium stakes or lower stakes, 20 max single entry stuff, at least the bulk majority. So if I filter here by medium stakes, single entry here, we'll look at the ownership. This will give us a better idea of the $5, $12 the single entries that many people are playing out there. You look at Senga, projected 43% is what Saber has them at our average here. I mean, I see that kind of climbing too, just the nature of the slate. And then you got Justin Steele, who is in that weather game. When I kind of broke down the slate early and looked, I wanted to kind of slam Justin Steele. I like what he displayed in his first start. I think he's a good pitcher. I don't mind the matchup there. But, man, you're talking 32 degrees at first pitch and some wind blowing in and things. And, yeah, it's great pitching weather. But I was digging into, like, spin rates and things like that. It's tough to really command control, velocity, things like that when you can't feel your fingertips. And with the pitch clock this year, Kenny and I were going back and forth in chat in the Discord. It's just tough, man. It's not like they can put hand warmers and things like that in their pockets if that game does play, because you have 16 seconds, 20 seconds with nobody on base, right, to throw the pitch. You can't just go in there after you're reading the signs and all that to warm up your hands. So that could be a concern, right? These pitchers in Chicago could lose command of their fastball. Their spin rates could be down. Their velocity could be down a little bit. That does give me some sort of concern because Justin Steele, I do think, is going to be the chalk pairing for sure is going to be Senga Steele, especially in high stakes, especially in single entry stuff as you're seeing here. So let's go 9K and above, or let's do 8,300 and above. This is Gallon, Webb, Senga, King, Gilbert, all the way up. In terms of ownership, like I said, Senga, right? Clear cut SP1 on the slate in terms of ownership. That's not how I see it, but what are you looking at here? 8,300 and above in terms of the aces. I think all of them make sense here tonight. What are you doing to separate these guys?
2 clear cut for me. First off, it's going to be the highest price pitcher on the slate. Logan Gilbert at home. Obviously have a pitcher's ballpark taking on this Houston team with the loss of Kyle Tucker. In my opinion, they've gone down a little bit. I know Jordan hit a bomb yesterday in the 9th to send it to extras. But Logan Gilbert in 2 games this season has thrown 83 and 92 pitches, struck out 8 and 10 batters, has gotten 20-plus DraftKings points in both contests. To me, he's the best play on this slate. Love the upside that he has in this ballpark. And the pitch count, we know he's going to throw, I'd say, 85-plus pitches, just depending on how he goes. The number 2 for me would be Nathan Eovaldi. Man, just the last game out in the Great American Small Park, carved up this Reds team through 99 pitches, complete game shutout. Now he gets to go to Chicago. You talked about it, the cold. It's going to be tough to get good wood on those baseballs. Give me Eovaldi, who threw 99 pitches last game, 87 pitches his first game. He's clear-cut number 2 for me. And then number 3 for me would be Logan Webb. Once again, going to a ballpark, going to be cold at night in this San Fran ballpark, taking on this Reds team. They are dangerous. I think Logan Webb, who's already faced them one time this year, I think he can limit the damage, limit the hard contact. Logan Webb would be number 3 for me. Senga, I mean, obviously great play, but like you said, with that ownership, with him coming back, a single entry and 3 max will be lower owned. And then Michael King, interested here. I know you like Michael King. The reasons I don't like Michael King is he's playing in a AAA park. I feel like that ball's been flying out of the yard in those games there in Sacktown. And coming off that performance, I think he's going to garner a lot of ownership where he struck out 11 Guardians last time. So on the road as a chalky pitcher, I'm going to pass on Michael King tonight.
Yeah, no, I agree with most of the things you did say there. We differ definitely, number 1, on Michael King. I'll get to him in a second here. I do want to hit on Senga. Sabre has the pitches here, actually, which is a really nice thing. They do have Senga at an average of 87 pitches. I think that's a little high personally here. I mean, he doesn't go very long, and that can be a concern with Senga in general just because we've seen him have control issues. I mean, even in the minors, he displayed a double-digit walk rate across left and right-handed batters. The only issue is here it's a pure nut matchup because Miami's not a patient offense, and they really have nobody to really scare you on that team. So matchup-wise alone, and then when we get to the bats, right, you see the implied run total there for the Mets. Naturally, that's going to increase his ownership even more there. Highest implied team total on the slate. A lot of people, optimizers and things, like I said, are just absolutely slamming him at 9K, which in turn is leaving Michael King as pretty much held in check in terms of ownership. We're seeing 18% of these aces at the top. I mean, he's the second lowest owned out of all of them, right there with Zach Gallen. And then Logan Gilbert. I mean, Logan Gilbert's strikeout stuff this year through his few starts has just been off the chart. This Astros team has been horrendous so far to start the year, especially with Kyle Tucker trade. I posted that in the Discord the other day, right, of what they gave up for that Kyle Tucker, what they gave the Cubs and what they got in return. They got absolutely fleeced in that trade there. That was pretty fun to see there. And I've picked on this Astros team all year long. So I absolutely love Gilbert and Michael King. And I think if you can pair them together, I think you're going to be super unique with a ton of upside on the slate. I mean, yeah, is Michael King playing in a AAA ballpark? Absolutely. But guess what? For the ball to go over the fence, you got to make contact. Michael King's got disgusting stuff. I looked at his 22 plate appearances he's faced this Athletics team, and he's got a 54.5% strikeout rate against this Athletics team right now. So with the upside, with what I've seen, he was close to getting me a live final seat in his first start. I'm going right back to the well here against the Athletics. I love Michael King. I love Logan Gilbert. Those are my 2 favorite pitchers there. And then Zach Gallen, Logan Webb, and Senga. I'm going to rank it. Zach Gallen is 3, Logan Webb 4, and then Senga is going to be my 5th, just strictly due to ownership, his pitch count concerns. And I just think, like I said, he's the chalkiest pitcher on the slate. And I love 7, 8 of these pitches a ton here. I didn't really hit on Eovaldi. Personally, how I'm approaching that Texas and Chicago game, in single entry 3 max stuff, I'm avoiding both the pitchers in that game. Texas and the Cubs, I'm avoiding Steele, and I'm avoiding Eovaldi. In MME, I would definitely include them. They're great options. It's great pitching weather there. I'm just hoping that the cold gives these guys fits. If this game does play, they're not going to have their best stuff there. And Texas does have some lefties and things that can get to Steele there. And then same thing on the other side. So they're great options for a reason, hence the ownership there. But I'm just taking an underweight approach and fading those pitchers, acting like this is a 6-game slate. I think that's going to make me unique as well in single entry and 3 max stuff. But they're great options. Eovaldi's a really good option there. I'd put him ahead of Senga for sure if I were to be playing him. But in single entry 3 max, which is basically what I'm talking about for the majority of the chat that is watching here, I'm fading those guys. Let's go to 8K and below here. You got Hunter Green, who's clear-cut chalk SP2 on this slate, especially if Justin Steele does get waxed. I mean, I could see Hunter Green coming in at 55-60% ownership. I think he's a really good option. Everyone says he has home run concerns. He hasn't really had a ton of home run issues here. It is in San Fran, not a great hitter's park there in general. This Giants offense has been pretty good as of late. I think he's fine at the ownership. It's hard for me to argue there, the matchup and everything. I think I'd rather just get up to Zach Gallen, but he's a great option. And then Justin Steele, already kind of gave my take on there. But what are you doing, Ham? 8K and below here. You got Justin Steele and Hunter Green, the main two talking points on the slate.
Yeah, both in great spots. Hunter Green, obviously tremendous K upside in that same park that Logan Webb is in. So we get the ballpark upgrade. The San Francisco offense, though, has just been a little bit better than I think maybe anyone had expected this season. Hunter Green did pitch opening day or against this Giants team, 21 DraftKings points. So I think he can do it, 8Ks. Certainly like Hunter Green at $7,900, but like you said, going to come with some ownership. Justin Steele, same thing, same story as Eovaldi, in my opinion, is I like the cold. It's tough to get good wood on those balls in the cold. I did have some interest in Michael Lorenzen. The problem, though, is that Lorenzen does very well against lefties and struggles against righties. And looking at the confirmed lineup, there are six righties in the lineup where he struggles. So I'm going to be lower on Lorenzen. Interested if you had any love for Lorenzen, but too many righties in that lineup for me. It's going to be Green and Steele leading the way in that sub 8K.
I swear, every time we're on the slate and Lorenzen's on there, you got a soft spot for Lorenzo. I'm not really sure what's going on there. But actually, he's only going to have two lefties because one of those is a switch hitter. He could hit from the left side, but again, switch hitter there. I actually have a decent amount of interest in the Twins bats. I like bats in that game in general, just the nature of the slate. So I have zero interest in Lorenzen. I'm actually going to play hitters against him. I was doing a deep dive there in terms of the bullpens and that for the pinch hit concerns of Wallner and Larnach in particular. Likely pretty high because Kansas City does have two of their better relievers in the pen are both lefties. So when they come in, those guys are likely going to get yanked if this game is relatively close, right, where the Twins could stay in there and they're going to play the platoon advantage there. So for me, I think Hunter Green's really the only guy I'm playing down here. Like I said, in MME, I'll play Justin Steele, but in 3-max and 2-max stuff are my two main teams. I'm not going to play Steele. I'm just fading that game in general. Like I said, hope that cold's going to affect them pitching wise. I get it. It definitely increases the pitching weather and it's great for pitchers in general. But like I said, I just think they could have a hard time commanding control, spin rates, all the metrics there. And I think that's enough on this slate that's already loaded. I just don't think I need to take on that concern. And they're definitely going to get a ton of ownership because everyone looks at the same thing, right? They look at parks, they look at weather. And they naturally are going to go to that game, especially at this price point on Justin Steele, with what it allows you to do to spend up for the Mets, spend up for the Padres, who are the two most popular teams on this slate. I'm just going to take a chance here, and that's kind of the way I'm approaching it there. So for me, it's Michael King, my favorite pitcher on the slate. Logan Gilbert, second favorite pitcher on the slate. Salary, everything considered, Hunter Green's going to be 3. I'll put Zach Gallen 4, and then 5 is tough. I'll put Logan Webb 5. And then it's kind of just throwing darts after that. But like I said, I mean, there's a case you can make for 7 or 8 of these guys, right? Eovaldi, Steele, Green, Gallen, Webb, Senga, King, Gilbert. I think that should be your pitcher pool. Don't really think you need to look at any of these other guys. Winsinski, Severino, Lorenzen, Eflin, Woods, Richardson. I would throw those out and just focus and kind of filter combinations around those 8. For me, I'm sticking to the couple that I just listed there. But Ham, what are you doing in terms of pitchers? Rank your top 5.
Yeah, Logan Gilbert, don't overthink it. He's clear-cut, number 1, in my opinion. Number 2 for me, I'm going to go Eovaldi in that weather game, if you will. Number 3 for me would be Logan Webb. Number 4, Justin Steele. And number 5, Hunter Green for me.
All right. Yes, great. I'm just reloading the stone here and having an issue pulling it up. But don't worry, for the people, I'm going to showcase the Google Sheet here. Looks like there's a data feed issue going on right now with our stone on the website. This is on the back end here. Man of the people, got to help the people out there. Showcase the stone here. We're going to talk game by game, go stacks and hitters here. First game on the slate, Marlins and the Mets. Senga, chalkiest pitch on the slate. but look at this, blood red. These are this season's numbers, so take it for what it's worth, right? Very limited sample size, as you can see here, listed by the app back columns here. Mets, probably the second highest owned stack on the slates for a good reason here, behind the Padres, and especially these guys in the back half, because what these guys do in the back half is it allows you to 5-man stack the Mets, and it allows you to play Senga or one of those top-end arms and Hunter Green. You cannot play those two of the top-end arms on the slate and 5-stack the Padres. So naturally, roster construction-wise, the Mets are going to get pumped, especially these guys on the back half of this order, right? The Jesse Winkers, the Taylors, the Acuñas, the Singers of the world. When you're spending up at pitching, which most people want to do, where are you going here in terms of hitting Marlins and the Mets on this slate?
Yeah, no Marlins for me. Probably be the theme all season long. Then I'm just cherry picking this Mets team, right? It would be Lindor or Soto as a one-off for me. Outside of that, I'm not full five-manning this team.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the weather here in Citi Field, and I think, to start the game here, it's going to be 41 degrees, wind blowing in, kind of temperatures in the low 40s the entire duration of this game, with five or so mile an hour winds blowing in. I don't want to really 5-man stack this team. I'm more mini stacking, so I kind of limited in the Mets to 2 or 3-man stacks here, one-offs. I like Alonso and Vientos. Those are my 2 favorite bats here. Vientos hasn't really gotten it going, but I think that's going to keep some of his ownership in check a little bit there. Most people are going to go to Machado right there at third base. So I don't mind Vientos and Pete Alonso. I like those 2 guys a lot. Lindor, Soto are always good options here. I would tread lightly with these guys in the back half of the lineup just because optimizers are going to pump these guys in. Like I said, from a roster construction standpoint, they're going to get thrown in there. Mets highest implied team total on the slate, which is obviously what projections base a lot of it off of, and the matchup here. Marlins basically going to be a bullpen game here. They are a right-handed heavy bullpen as well, so you don't really have to worry about these guys, these lefties too much that are in the lineup, because majority of the Marlins pen is right-handed here. And it's just not a good bullpen in general. This team is just not good overall. So it is a good spot for these Mets. I have them up there in terms of stacks. They're definitely not my favorite stack on the board. At similar ownerships, I would much rather just side with the Padres. I'm kind of shoving the chips in on the Padres, just taking my chances in that Cracker Jack Park out there in Oakland, or Sacramento, I should say there. So Mets mini stacks for me. My 2 favorite bats from the Mets are going to be Pete Alonso, number 1, Mark Vientos, number 2. And then I don't mind my boy Tyrone Taylor down there in the 7-hole. Got a soft spot for him. He was a slugger there in Milwaukee. Didn't see him play too often, but when he was in there, he definitely has power. And at 2,700, he kind of fits the script a little bit for me. Next team on the slate here, we have the Twins and the Royals. Woods Richardson, Lorenzen on the hill, two of the worst pitchers on the slate, I would say here, especially Lorenzen. Already talked about the Twins. Wallner and Larnach, likely a pretty high probability that if this game is close, Wallner in particular is likely to get pinch hit for. Could he do it in 2 at-bats? Absolutely. It's Michael Lorenzen here. I like these Twins. I focus on Correa, Buxton, Ty France, Miranda are kind of the guys I'm really focused on mainly for the Twins aspect. And then on the Royal side, Woods Richardson, I don't mind attacking him. I like some of these lefties, Vinny P, Massey, Melendez, Kyle Isbell's cheap down there, stolen base upside as well. I like this game for bats. I'm on both sides, off both these pitchers. Just the nature of the slate, there's not a lot of good spots to go to. It's not the greatest weather here in Kansas City, but that's just the nature of the slate. It's not good weather really anywhere across the board. So I'm going to pick on 2 of the weaker pitchers on the slate, in my opinion, and I like both sides of this game. But where are you going here?
Yeah, it's Royals for me. They're my number 2 ranked stack on the day. Really like the Royals. Simeon, what is it? Woods Richardson or whatever his name is, gives up a ton of walks, gives up the deep fly, playing in Coors Field East. So, yeah, give me these Royals. And then I would say no Twins, but I'll get yelled at by you because I love Michael Lorenzen. So give me some lefties. Give me some power. Righties. Give me the righties for the Twins. A little reverse splitsy. Give me the power righties for the Twins. I don't mind them tonight.
Yeah, the fly ball guys are what you're looking at here. Lorenzen does have a little bit of a ground ball lean to righties, but again, he is reverse splits, right? Does give up a decent amount of power. And so, Buxton, France, Willie Castro, Vasquez, They all hit that script. And then Wallner and Larnach are both fly ball guys as well with a ton of power against right-handed pitching. But just know you could only see 2 at-bats maybe from those guys. So I would probably avoid playing them together and limit it into one of those guys just due to pinch hit. I'd prefer Larnach over Wallner, but again, you're splitting hairs, and I don't have a crystal ball to tell you who's going to get pitch hit for. I just know there's a high probability because the Royals have two rested lefty relievers that they use pretty frequently that haven't thrown in a couple days. So they're definitely likely to come out of that pen there, I would assume, but we'll see. And then I'm with you on the Royals. I like the Royals. Royals are one of my top 3 favorite stacks on the slate. I think I put them right there in second, probably as well with you, behind the Padres, who we're going to talk about later. Line them up any which way. I think Bobby Witt's ownership is going to get held in check at shortstop, which is always nice. Bobby slams, right? Because I think if people are spending up at shortstop, they are going to Lindor. Or when we get to the Padres, right, Xander Bogaerts is going to pick up a decent amount of ownership right there for cheaper. So I think if they're spending up, they're going to Lindor. And if they're spending kind of down a little bit, they're going to go to Xander. So I think Bobby Witt does get squeezed a little bit there, which I definitely like ownership held in check for one of the best baseball players in the league. Next game on the slate here, I'm throwing this game out again in terms of hitters for sure. Pitchers obviously are great plays here. I'm just taking a kind of contrarian approach. No hitters for me, really, not even leverage one-offs or anything. I mean, sure, could Kyle Tucker hit it out in freezing cold weather? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a great player. He's got a ton of power. Obviously, he's an all-around player. He's better than Jordan for sure, in my opinion. And I'm not sure why the Astros gave up on him versus Jordan there. But am I going to play 6,300 in 32-degree weather with potential snow flurries against Nathan Eovaldi? Probably not. So this game for bats wise for me is a pass here. But anything you can pull from this one?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, like you said, I have interest in both of these pitchers. Could you one-off Kyle Tucker? Yes, but I'm with you. Are you paying $6,300 in bone-chilling weather? No, thank you. Your catcher boy is not even in there tonight, so not even playing your boy that won you all the cheese the other night for the Cubs. So, yeah, this game's a pass for me. Easy pass.
Yeah, I mean, I will say Jake Berger and Wyatt Langford both mash left-handed pitching. So if you wanted to get crazy, you could pull a one-off there. I mean, they have enough power even in Wrigley with the weather to hit it out of there. It's not something I love, but their price points are much more fair at 3,800 and 4,200, especially at an outfield position where you have the opportunity to play 3 of them. One hate something like that because Justin Steele, I do think, probably comes in as the second highest owned pitcher on the slate if this game does end up playing behind Senga. So always some leverage there, but really not a spot I'm looking to for bats for sure. And definitely have to keep an eye on the weather there. Like I said, Roth over at Roto Grinders on the weather report does have this game as orange, yellow. And if they do call it, it likely will be a pregame postpone. If this game does start, they're going to play through it. It's not a precipitation issue. It's just a cold issue. So if they were to call it, it's likely going to get postponed before lock, and we'll have that news. So just pay attention to that if you are planning on playing those guys. And that would just overall inflate the ownership on Hunter Green if Steele were to get axed because he's 7,700. Hunter Green's the closest price guy in a matchup where people want to play him. So all that ownership will just shift right over to Hunter Green, and he'll become even chalkier there. Next game on the slate, Orioles and the D-backs. This is one of my favorite games on the slate here. I like Zach Gallen a lot. I had zero interest in Zach Eflin, but what I will say is Zach Gallen, I didn't think he was going to do what he did to the Yankees. Pretty much nobody did. He is a really good pitcher there in general, but so is this Orioles offense. They got the addition of Gunnar Henderson back. This is kind of their nut lineup, their main lineup that they're going to roll out. I think the Orioles in tournaments, I will definitely, I'll tell you right now, in MME wise, I will definitely be overweight on these Orioles in tournaments from what this projected ownership is. And just the nature of the slate, it is 80, it's like mid 80s in Arizona. The roof is going to be open. So from a hitting perspective, weather, temperature, everything, this is the best hitting conditions on the slate by far. Maybe you can argue, right? Padres and Athletics. But at the ownership, this is definitely one of the target spots for me. I love both sides of this game. I love the D-back sides the most. I put them right up there, in my opinion, with the Padres and the Royals. I love these D-backs. And then on the O's in tournaments, I definitely give them a huge boost here because I just don't think many people are going to play them at all against Gallen for good reason. But anytime a guy's coming off a ceiling performance like he did against the Yankees here, I never mind picking on a pitcher coming off kind of a nut ceiling performance there. While he is a good pitcher, so is this Orioles offense for the most part here.
Yeah, I like the Orioles as well. I think the Orioles as a contrarian stat. Gallen, what do you have, 13 Ks? His first time out. Now you're getting Gunnar at 12% ownership, one of the best shortstops in the game. Adley, O'Hearn, Westburg, they can all go deep fly. I mean, Jackson Holiday batting ninth. You got to love that. No one's going to play him. 4,100 is a little expensive. Don't love that. But I'm with you. I like this Orioles team. This I can't remember what you said about the D-backs, but outside of Corbin Carroll, I feel like they kind of took a step back, right? When Cattell went out with the hamstring, they kind of struggled all weekend in Washington. But Corbin Carroll, obviously a great play. But did you have any interest in any of those other guys for the D-backs?
Yeah, I love the D-backs. They're probably my second or third favorite stack on the slate behind the Padres. I put them pretty close there with Kansas City. It's just hitting conditions wise on the slate. I mean, the roof's going to be open here. It's temperatures in the 80s, and it's against Jake Irvin, who I'm just not scared to pick on. So I love the D-backs here, or Zach Eflin, excuse me. I love the D-backs here. Perdomo, Carroll, Pavin Smith, Josh Naylor, Lourdes, Gurriel, Suarez, even Moreno down there. And then you're going to have a cheap second baseman in either Garrett Hampson or a stone minimum guy here, which we're predicting in Tim Tawa. Haven't really dug into him too much, but when you're starved for value on this slate and you have spend up arms you want to play, I'll never argue against the stone minimum guy, especially at a weak second base position there. So I love the D-backs personally.
Nice.
All right. Next team on the slate, Astros and the Mariners here. Logan Gilbert on the hill.
We got a dawn call. Nades.
Yeah, Pavin Smith. He's I'll give the people a little precursor. He's in my core over. If I click on this little slate plan here, which I'm not gonna because it is premium content. He is in my core, so I hope so. I'm in lockstep, and it feels good to be lockstep with our guy Rio coming off 60 stacks over the weekend on some day baseball on that Saturday there. Dog walk the competition in that main lotto tournament there. So I like it. I'm on board. Mariners and the Astros here. Logan Gilbert, I don't really have any interest in these Astros outside of Jordan, who I think you can just always play him whenever you want. But if I'm any pitcher, especially a pitcher of intelligence like Logan Gilbert is, am I going to let the one guy that I'm really scared of in this Astros lineup beat me? Probably not. So, I think this Astros team is a cross-off. I mean, 32% strikeout rate on the season against right-handed pitching. And you look at Logan Gilbert, he's got a 41% strikeout rate over his first two starts. Get it? It's limited samples, but I'm a numbers guy in baseball. More times than not, numbers work out in baseball. I'm off these Astros. Mariners, though, I do think are interesting and sneaky in tournaments. They hit the baseball a little bit over the weekend. You got some cheap guys in here. Luke Raley is cheap. Mitch Garver is an option there. Cal Raleigh, Randy Arozarena, Julio Rodriguez always has power and stolen base upside there. Ryan Bliss is cheap at second base as well, 2,800. I don't mind some of these Mariners. It's just the nature of the slate on a full slate where there was good hitting conditions. I'm probably never playing this ballpark in general, but it's just the nature of the slate. So I don't mind the Mariners as mini stacks or fillers. Probably not going to 5-man stack the Mariners just in this slate, in this ballpark. I don't think they have the upside to break that kind of slate or break that kind of or have that kind of upside on the slate with the ballpark. But mini stacks, I don't mind this Mariners team. Some of these guys, but what are you looking at here? Houston and Seattle.
Yeah, definitely no Stros for me. I wouldn't even play Yordong in this scenario. I'm with you. I like these lefties a little bit, little minis. I like the little mini with your boy Luke Raley, like you just said. Don't mind him. A little Jorge Polanco, a little 5-6 action if that's where they wind up with Cal Raleigh, maybe batting cleanup in your favorite spot, the 4-hole, if you will. So yeah, give me some Mariners lefties in a mini, and then Logan Gilbert. Don't overthink it, folks. Play him in single entry, but he's a great play tonight.
Yeah, I like that his ownership's getting held in check too, because people, when they're spending up, are kind of stopping at Senga at 9K. So finding $500 to get up to Gilbert in this matchup against the Astros, when much worse pitchers than Logan Gilbert have mowed them down all season, in a pitcher's ballpark at home, I mean, all things point to Logan Gilbert's smash here. So I love Gilbert, and already kind of hit on the bats here. I will say, looking at Hayden's splits from last year, he gives up power to both sides of the plate, gives up more power to righties actually, does have a higher ground ball lean to left-handed hitters. So the fly ball guys are who you're looking for the Seattle guys. Cal Raleigh, Polanco, Dylan Moore, Rodriguez, pretty much the entire team is a fly ball hitters outside of JP Crawford. So don't really need to worry too much, and it's just the nature of slate. So I don't mind them low owned as mini stacks on the slate. Next game on the slate, Giants and the Reds. Logan Webb, Hunter Green, two good arms on the slate. I have interest in both of them. Not really going to anyone in this game. If I were to pick a side, it would be some of these Giants just to leverage some of that Hunter Green ownership, who at times can display some home run issues. Willie Adames, Chapman, Heliot Ramos, kind of the home run guys that I'd be looking at there. And then on the Red side, you can always play Ellie De La Cruz, but Logan Webb, ground ball guy, you're really kind of, he just doesn't allow power and keeps the ball on the ground. So you're really looking for upside in terms of like stolen bases and just old school baseball manufacturer runs, which I just never love. So maybe an Ellie De La Cruz, but if I'm spending up at shortstop, I'm going to Bobby Witt. I'm going to those guys we already talked about, Gunnar Henderson, things like that, who have similar upside as well. Pretty much a pass for me on the Reds, and Giants would just be leverage stacks in tournaments to counteract Hunter Green.
Yep, 0 plays here. It's a good old-fashioned 4-2 barn burner. Yeah, I'll be asleep when this game goes final, Nades, and I'll wake up. It'll be 4-2. Actually, I won't be, because I'm going to watch that game tonight. Can't wait to get your take on that game. But, yeah, 4-2 will be the final. Don't play any of these bats.
All right, 4-2. He's calling it. He's calling a shot now. That takes us to probably the best game on the slate, at least in my eyes. The Padres, behind Arizona, I should say. But in terms of stacks-wise, 5-man stacks, Padres are definitely my top of the slate here against Luis Severino in this Oakland ballpark, who is basically, in my opinion, going to play like Coors Field this season. We've seen a ton of home runs already. Maybe it's the nature of Arizona being out there when they were there, and Eugenio Suarez, just a walking flamethrower. Just it didn't matter who you threw at. Cy Young himself probably would have got taken deep with Suarez the way he was swinging it to start the year here. But Padres, I love them all. I'll say that right now. Gavin Sheets, you got a nice value there with some power there. First base and outfield eligible is nice. My boy Jackson Merrill, complete utter stud. Absolutely love him. Machado, Fernando Tatis, Cronenworth. Any way you kind of stack them up. I love this Padres team. My top stack of the board. Ownership's pretty similar to what the Mets are showing. And I like that. So I think between the Mets and the Padres, there's two good enough spots on the slate that they're going to take and pull from each other. I love the Padres. And on the athletic side, I loved Michael King, but I would say some of these lefties, Soderstrom, Lawrence Butler in particular, J.J. Bleday maybe, but mainly Butler and Soderstrom, I think you could. If you're looking to pull some guys against Michael King for whatever reason, I think you could, but I just don't think he's going to get ownership in general to kind of leverage anything against the field. I'd much rather play some like the Orioles as a leverage player, something like that, than pick out some of these athletics. But Rooker, Butler, Soderstrom, some of the guys that have a ton of power, you could definitely play. What's your take though here, Oakland and San Diego?
Yeah, I mean, you said everything, right? Severino, big fly ball guy playing in a Coors Field West, if you will. Going to give up some deep flies. Jackson Merrill, certified stud. Number one in the hitter rankings for me yesterday on the slate plan. He went yard. And the lefties, you said it. Lawrence Butler. I have J.J. Bleday a little bit ahead of, I think you said Soderstrom. But, yeah, you had Bleday in there third. I'll go Butler and Bleday. Pick those guys off as one-offs. But it's bombs away for those Padres. 8+ runs for them tonight.
Yeah, I love the Padres for sure. I'm with you there. And that kind of rounds out all the games on the slate again. Only 7 games to talk about. Really keep your eye definitely on that Chicago game. I think Ross' latest forecast had the game starting at about 32 degrees, which is absolutely wild. That's freezing for anyone out there who's not a chemist or doesn't really know what their freezing point is out there. But I mean, 32 degrees. 32 degrees playing baseball. I mean, I don't know. That doesn't seem fun. So I'm acting like that game doesn't exist in my main teams. But throw it over to you, Ham. The kind of favorite segment of the show, the home run calls. Where are you going?
Yeah, I got a certified lock for a home run. I'm gonna give the people 2. How about that? I'm gonna give them 2. Are you okay with that?
Go ahead.
I don't want to steal your guys. I'm gonna go. You call him Bobby Slams, Bobby Witt, a little Sal Pal, a little Bango Bongo, 2-4, double dong. Give me all the dongs. Bobby Witt, Salvador Perez, both hit a bomb tonight.
Oh, he's going a little combo pack there, a little Bobby and Salvi, a little mini stack potentially there for Ham out there in Kauffman Stadium. I'm going to my guy. Won me a ton of money last year. Going to continue to win me a ton of money this year. I'm going to San Diego. I'm going to Jackson Merrill. Slated to hit 4th here. I think he takes one deep in that Cracker Jack AAA ballpark out there. And then I will go to my other favorite stack on the board, the D-backs. I'm not going to pull our guy Rio in the chat, Pavin Smith. I'm going to go to the guy hitting above him, Geraldo Perdomo at the shortstop position. I think he hits one deep. And if he doesn't, he's got stolen base upside to match the output of a home run there. Hit a single, steal second. That's 8 points you're looking at right there, right out of the gate. So I like me some Perdomo. I like me some Jackson Merrill. And that's going to do it for this MLB show here. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And if you missed off the top of the show, if you're not a member, we have code right now, DGen75, get you $75 off a month package. That's right. It takes it down to $25 for the first month. That's cheaper than other places around the industry are charging just for the Masters content alone, which is 1 week. You get all the additional content for MLB, for NBA playoffs coming up, for obviously PGA, not just the Masters, but the next 3 events following the Masters. You get MMA and obviously MLB content. You'll get my slate plan, all the team over here, our content, our tools, the Stone, which we just walked through there, and you get SaberSim. No better way in the industry. It's pretty much a no-brainer. If you're not a member yet, DGen75, get in now. This is going away and will no longer be valid at tee-off Thursday morning for that Masters. Good luck tonight in those contests. Hope everyone has a good Monday evening. Hopefully we wake up with some more cheese in our pockets. For Ham, I'm Nades. Good luck tonight. Let's ship it.